What's up? It's Sierra.
Hey, it's Ebony.
And welcome to the Real Play Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the Real Play Podcast. This is Sierra.
Hey guys, it's Ebony.
And today we are talking about pregnant during the pandemic. We have two guests today. We have Jakaya. Hey, Jakaya.
Hi.
And we have Q. How are you, Q?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good. Thank you, ladies, for joining us to talk about this subject of being pregnant by this pandemic that nobody saw coming. I'm sure the joys of being pregnant was just so high. And then you're like, wait a minute. What's happening in the world? Like, I'm about to bring a baby into this. Like, how am I going to protect myself, protect my child? So I know it was a lot of ups and downs. But before we get into this episode, I'm going to give each of you guys a quick chance to introduce yourself. We'll start with Jakaya. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, as you guys said, my name is Jakaya. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland, and I'm 6 months pregnant. My high school sweetheart and I are expecting our baby boy in November.
Oh, how cute. Aww. High school sweetheart.
Nice. Yeah.
Love it. So cute. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. My name is actually LaQuesha, but everyone calls me Q. I'm 31 years old, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I am 2 months postpartum, so I just had my baby boy in May. He's been a joy, and I have a bonus son also through marriage. So I got my hands full with 2 boys right now.
Wow. Yes, don't envy that. But you're the queen of the household. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's just start with when you first found out you guys were pregnant. So you guys were super excited. How did you guys tell your families and your friends? What did you do? Did you throw an event? Did you tell your parents first? What happened?
My process was a little bit different because I've been trying for 3 years and I went through IVF. So I expected something to happen soon. So it wasn't quite a surprise. Me and my spouse knew. And as far as telling my family, I didn't do anything big. All I did was I got these Ravens onesies for my mom and dad because they're big Ravens fans. And it was around his birthday, like August, I think. And I put him in a box for him like it was his birthday gift. And he was so excited because it's his first grandson. So nothing big, but just for those 2.
Oh, that's cute.
That's exciting. Yeah, that's cute. I'm on the completely opposite side of the spectrum. I am young. As I said, I'm 24. I'm not married. So it was a big shock actually finding out I was pregnant. I was not planning, we weren't trying, just kind of happened. So telling my parents was like, it was just like a huge, like a scary moment in my life. Like, coming to them, I took a home pregnancy test and it said positive. And again, I was completely shocked. I went to a patient first and got an actual blood test done and they confirmed it. So I'm like, all right, now I have to go home and let my parents know. My boyfriend did come with me and stuff. And like, I just got home and I'm like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Like, so it was a different range of emotions, again, with me being so young and, not married and still kind of like trying to figure out life and everything. But my parents they've been so supportive. They're very accepting. They love him. His family is excited too. So awesome. It started scary, but turned out like great. So
that's awesome.
That's good.
And babies are definitely blessings.
So congratulations to both of you. Ebony and I, as you guys know, we're not mothers.
Absolutely
That's
not.
okay.
Never been pregnant, but we do hope one day to travel down the path that you guys are on right now. So
I'm scared.
You scared? I mean, of course, I know I'm gonna be scared. I can't imagine. Yeah. But I hear that once you become a mom and once you're pregnant, all that, it just like snaps on.
It does.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that, LaQuesha. Like, what was it like once you had him in your hands, you just felt like you just was everything that your mom taught you just kicked in from growing up? Like, how was that?
So, well, mine's a little different because I had my bonus son beforehand. I had him since he was 2. So although he wasn't like an infant when I got married, I had him for quite a bit, and he was still in that potty training mode. So I wasn't scared to be a mom. I was more scared of labor and delivery. Yeah, so that was a scary moment for me. But it doesn't really just, it happened with Carter as far as learning how to be a mom. But me personally, when my son was born just like 2 months ago, I felt, happy, and it finally happened. Like I had more of a, oh my gosh, finally moment, because I had been waiting so long for him. And as far as things kicking in, you kind of learn as you go, day by day. My mom, she actually didn't really teach me anything because she was so far removed from the game. She was like, "Oh, I don't remember that." So
I know,
I
because
was
you're so
kind
old,
of,
right?
yeah. I was her only. So she
I was
was
about
like,
to
this is
say, and
like
you were the
30
only
years ago.
child. Yeah.
Right. So it was hard for, her to kind of like, how do I change a diaper again type of thing. So I was really teaching my mom, and she
That's
was really
funny.
there. She was there to support me, teaching me how, like taking things off me, helping to walk our dogs, maybe helping with my other son, or, helping to wash the dishes and things like that. But it does snap when you have to figure it out.
I kind of want to ask more about like how was the labor and delivery, but I don't want to scare Jakaya, so I'm just like, I don't know.
I need all of the details. I need everything. I'm all ears.
Well,
So
I'll
before
keep
we
it
go
brief.
to
Yeah.
before we go to the labor and delivery, let's start with prenatal, because that
Okay.
all, that's leading up to it. So we know that the world is a little different now. So you're not able to just come and go into the doctor's office as normal for most people.
Right.
And I do know that while you're pregnant, you get your blood drawn all of the time, for all your doctor's appointments. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to. But
Every
how
single
was
one of them?
hmm?
Every single one?
No, not everyone.
It
Okay.
depends. I guess it depends on, you know, your health. And if there's
That
something
too.
that's going on, they will draw your blood. Like if they know that you have high sugars or something like that. But you do get your blood drawn a lot more while you're pregnant than when you
Oh yeah,
are
absolutely.
when you're just a regular person going to the doctor. So tell us what it was like going to your doctor's appointments. Were you at what point were you not allowed to bring other people in with you? Just to give us an idea of what it looks like going into medical facilities right now.
I'm kind of also interested in the first appointment too.
Yeah, I can talk more about that. So for me, I found out like around the first week of March that I was pregnant. So that was kind of when things were just like getting started. So I like found a random doctor just because I knew I needed to, start getting things in motion. So I wasn't crazy about the doctor's office. Like when I first went, I'm like, I don't really know about this place. I don't know if I want to keep my care here. And funny enough, speaking of all the blood you had to get drawn, I almost passed out at that appointment because of all of the blood. And like, I wasn't in that like mommy mode yet where I'm like eating good all day and drinking a bunch of water. So like after they took like 5 tubes of blood, I'm like about to pass out. But my boyfriend got to come to that appointment with me. So I was super happy about that. So that appointment was just very like medical history. You do have to use the bathroom in a cup every time you go to your appointments. But so it was just more like talking. And like I said, they did the blood work. So at my appointments following that, I did switch my care to another provider that I absolutely love. It's 2 Black OBGYN. So I'm like super happy about that. Yes.
Yay.
And so my very next appointment, like he couldn't come with me anymore. And crazy enough, the first place I went to, they ended up losing my blood work. So my blood work from March, I had no idea. I don't know. I kept calling back, like, where's my blood work? They're like, it's processing. It is July. I still have not gotten those results back. So I had to end up redoing a lot of that blood work at my my new provider's office. So I have been given a lot of blood, unfortunately. but yeah, so it sucks with him not being able to come with me to the appointments. Just because it's a new experience for both of us. Like neither one of us have children, and he's just super excited. Like he's so ready to be a dad. He wants to be there every step of every way. Every time we go to an appointment, he's like, ask him, can I come? Can I come yet? Can I come yet? Like, do you think I'll be able to come to the next appointment? And he's not able to do any of that. So that's definitely been a sucky part of this. And then even, just for me having to be in the appointments alone, and if anything, God forbid anything was to go wrong, I would have to, be in that moment alone. Like he wouldn't be able to be with me. But the doctors like allow him to be on FaceTime with me for some of the appointments. But when I'm getting my sonograms done, unfortunately, I can't be on FaceTime. I can't record videos. So he only gets to see pictures of those.
Do they give you like a little video of your sonogram or a CD that you could buy? Okay.
Yeah, the place I go to, they sent me a link and there's videos from my last sonogram appointment. Yeah.
Nice.
And why do they not let you video during the sonogram?
I have no idea. I don't know if they think it's gonna interfere with the stuff. I don't know.
The
I think
wavelengths.
yeah, I think it depends on where you go because I
Yep.
have other friends who have children and they have videos and everything, but they like as soon as I get in there, they're like, okay, you have to like put your phone down. So.
Well, thank you for that. I know, Q, you were a little further along. So what was your experience like?
Well, yeah, I was further along. So that first 7 months, everything was normal as far as like visitation and going to the different doctor's appointments. Around month 7 was when things kind of got the hiccup in March. So they kind of was like, we're going to limit to anybody in labor can have like 2 people in the room with them. And then they modified to during appointments, no one can come to your appointments with you, just you. And when you come in, you have to wear a mask, you have to sanitize, they check your fever and everything. And if you happen to have symptoms, they would either tell you to reschedule, or if you had really bad symptoms, then you could actually get tested for it. My fear when I was pregnant was that I would go through labor and they had this thing where if you show symptoms of COVID, it was still kind of early on that they would quarantine you from your newborn. And that's what I was worried about. So that was a concern for me. So I wanted to switch in prenatal care from the medical center I was at to a birth center. And when I went to the birth center, I felt better knowing that I could have my spouse there and my doula at least and my mom. But that wound up changing as well because my symptoms changed. I wound up having diabetes during pregnancy, and I wound up going back to the medical center I was already at for the first 7 months anyways, just because things weren't looking too good with my pregnancy. But I wound up delivering at the original place, and by then they had decreased visitation down to 1 person. But again, prenatal, they do the checks for you, but you can't bring anybody with you, same as Jakaya.
Okay. So then I didn't know you had a doula. So tell us a little bit about having one, what they're for, what, how they support you. Yeah, tell us about that.
So a lot of times in pregnancy, people are always worried about the baby and the newborn and, how's the baby doing and whatnot. So the doula is really an advocate for the mom. I really enjoyed having a doula. The doula is someone who makes sure you have a say in your labor and your delivery process. They're there helping you with different types of positions. And it's not just if someone wants to go natural, because you can have a doula even if you're going to do medicated or even a C-section. But a doula really just helps support the mom, be there for her, and actually the family and spouse. Like you'll have a doula that can prepare meals for you, a doula who, massage your back, who will relieve your spouse so they can go take a nap. Or, just different things. They can come and wash your laundry for you. But a doula is really there as a labor or postpartum support person, really just to help the mom to kind of help transition to this new life.
I was going to say, so I'm on the, probably shouldn't say this out loud, the women's health team at my job. And so I just learned a lot from the nurses, but I remember first starting and asking them about like a birth plan, like, oh, what if a patient wants to do like border birth, like what's that about? And they're kind of laughing, like birth plan, like they kind of disregard the birth plan. So I always thought that was interesting because I've never had kids. So I was kind of like, oh, well, you would often, think about like leaning on your doctors for advice or support. But if they don't care about a birth plan, I would see why people would get doulas.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's probably not that they don't care about the birth plan. It's just that it's so many things, that variables that can go wrong during birth. They're just like, we're doctors. We know, how to, I don't know. I was going to say produce a baby, but
we know how to deliver the baby.
Yes.
That's their main focus, is actually the delivery of the healthy baby. And as Q said, the doula is more to make sure that the mother is taken care of. So it's correct. It sounds like it's a good thing to have both.
Yep.
Jakaya, were you thinking about getting a doula, or had it even crossed your mind until this conversation?
It hadn't. Like, hearing her talk about it is definitely making me like, okay, maybe. And I actually did have someone that I went to high school with. When she saw that I had been posting, I was pregnant. She reached out to me and she let me know that that she was a doula. But I hadn't really thought too much into it. I'm kind of like, for me to be young, I'm like the old school, like everything needs to be in the hospital. Like, you need medical professionals there and that kind of thing. So I never really got into thinking about like doing a birthing center or a natural birth or anything like that. It's just always been like, oh no, I know I'm going to a hospital. So
Right.
Can a doula come with you to the actual hospital? So
normally yes, but not now.
Okay.
Normally yes, but not now during the pandemic. Most hospitals allow like 3 to 5 persons inside your room at any given time. Mine allowed 5 people, but you could have a certified doula in there with you, no problem. But now hospitals are limiting it.
And by 5 people, you mean the doctor, the nurse, you?
No, like 5 additional outside personnel in addition to your doctors and nurses.
Okay. So we did bring up a little bit earlier about the actual delivery part. So let's have Q give Jakaya an overview of what to expect, because we know every delivery is different. Some women get the C-sections because something happens. They got to get an emergency C-section. Some are planned. Some their water never totally breaks, and random stuff that I've heard of. So how was your actual delivery, and how long were you in labor? And what was the first sign? Like when you were at home, chilling on the couch, playing with dogs or Carter, like what told you, wait, boo, we need to go ahead and get in the car?
What was your like due date in comparison to like when he ended up coming?
Okay. So I was due May 12th. I delivered May 16th. So he was 4 days late. But I never even went into labor. I was induced. Because of my diabetes, they didn't want me to go too far past my due date, because at a certain point, your placenta starts to deteriorate. So I went in 3 days after I was due, and they induced me to use pill capsules, some kind of Foley balloon. You don't want to ever use that. It's horrible.
Really? What is that? The Foley balloon?
The Foley balloon. Yeah, it's like a little balloon, like maybe like that small, and they put it in your cervix manually, and they like inflate it. Yeah, it's like a mechanical inflation. It hurts. Don't do it.
Thank you.
And then they have, of course, Pitocin. So my baby didn't like Pitocin, so we immediately stopped it like 30 minutes later. But his heart rate started to drop. He was born very small for his age, so they wound up, when they did the emergency C-section, they wound up finding out that he was faced upways, meaning his head was down, but he was facing up instead of down. So his throat was kind of like going back, and he couldn't breathe. But it was still a great, I would say, a great labor, great transition. My labor lasted about 24 hours. And that's when I was starting to actually like really get into active labor. They always say the first baby takes a long time, and it was definitely a long labor. And right when we went for the C-section, I think I was like 5 centimeters dilated. And I was starting to like, my body was starting to change, like transition, starting to throw up, starting to like get rid of stuff that I would need to get rid of before delivery. And then he just didn't like it. But the C-section went great. I told my doctor to give me a quick little tummy tuck if she could. And I had to crack joke. She snapped it all the way together. And
like while you're there,
pull it down and tuck it. And I think I was up maybe 6 hours after labor and delivered. So yeah,
like up, like actually walking,
like walking slow, but yeah.
Okay.
I was walking to go into the bathroom and things like that. And they're like, wow, you're really doing it to have a C-section. So I would definitely say, I would recommend, Jakaya, that you stay active as possible. Like I'm a yoga instructor as well. And I did yoga pretty much throughout my whole pregnancy, maybe to like month 8. And I had to really like slow down then, but stay active. Even if you're walking, doing some squats, do some pelvic thrusts, get those hips open, do some butterflies, just stretch. I definitely stay active. It helps recovery so much.
Helps with that snapback. Okay.
Snapback.
All right.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I will also recommend medication. I was trying to do the whole water birth, go natural thing. And then my doctor came in and was like, there's no trophy and no award for being natural. I was like, you know what? You're right.
True.
You are so right. Give me the daggone epidural.
Yeah.
And it made life so much easier.
Did that hurt though?
What, the epidural?
Yeah.
I got poked 4 times.
Just like the pain was just like.
And now it's my process only because they have a really tight spine. So my vertebrae were really close together. And they had to make sure it was right. But I would definitely recommend epidural. It did not hurt at all. Just keep still. Once you feel a contraction, the epidural is nothing.
I was going to ask, did you eventually have contractions? And can you tell us what it felt like? Like if you can describe it.
Okay, it's a wave. It's like a wave. Your body, you start to sweat, you get hot, and it feels like a squeezing of the whole abdominal section, like your whole midsection is squeezing in really tight, and then it releases. So it's
like a really, really horrible cramp.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Cramp all over. Yes, but worse. But they're manageable.
Do you feel it a lot in your back, or is it more in the front?
They say once you get into active labor, you feel it from the back going to the front.
Okay.
Yeah. So initially you'll feel it in the front. Most of them, the small ones, you won't feel at all. And then once they get thick and heavy, they start from your back and they come to the front and they go over your belly. That's what they say. I just felt pain. Ooh. I can't say it started in the back then came to the front. It just felt like
she's like, girl.
And then
she's like, girl, it hurt. Get the medicine.
Not even a thought. Natural, nothing never crossed my mind. I'm like, if I have to wear a t-shirt to the hospital that says give me epidural, I will. Like, I'm not playing. Like, no, I'm definitely getting medication.
Now, don't get it too soon because you'll want to delay labor too slow, but I say definitely get it.
Okay.
So wait till like 5.
Okay.
5.
And the total, how big are you supposed to get?
10.
10, right? 10 centimeters.
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
10.
So when you're halfway there, then tell them to hit you with the good stuff.
You want to be out of early labor because then you're going to slow it down. So just wait till you get past early labor, which is at 5 centimeters, and then go for the epidural.
It seems like it's been a lot of like emergency C-sections. I have 2 close friends who just gave birth as well, and both of them had to get emergency C-sections. And it was just crazy to me because I feel like with us being so young, you don't think about that. Like you just think like, oh, I'm just healthy 24-year-old. Like I'm gonna, push my baby out. And I don't know, even just like older women I talked to, my mom and a lot of her friends, like none of them had to get C-sections. So I'm definitely feeling like I'm hearing about them a lot more now.
So what I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but I have heard that a lot of doctors, regardless, will try to get you to get the C-section. Unfortunately, and I don't know if it's true, but in the medical industry, it's about making money. And it costs your bill will be higher,
of course,
with a C-section and the aftercare and the medication that goes with the healing process of that than it would be to do it naturally. Don't know if it's true, but you can go ahead and just do your own personal research.
I was going to ask about Pitocin because I heard that every time someone speaks about it, they speak about like their baby's heart rate dropping every single time. And then they always end up having to have a C-section. So I'm like, I don't know if there's a correlation between that, but it's
probably
to look into.
Yeah.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah, I know 2 things I researched as far as C-sections, and I kind of knew going in that this is where I was probably going. I think 2 things. My baby was small, so he didn't activate labor, and I didn't dilate fast enough. I think that was 1. And then 2, I also heard that a lot of times they use C-sections as a training type of thing. So a lot of times you use C-sections, they're training the next doctors up on these C-sections. So of course they like to have C-sections. So you look into all these different things. And then lastly, of course, if you look at the rate, women who are induced to go into labor have a 1 in 4 chance of having a C-section. So I knew going in, because I'm being induced, I probably will have a C-section, more than likely. It's just the cards are kind of stacked against me with my diabetes and things like that. But whenever you start to intervene, the hospital and doctors have a higher liability. So when they start saying anything that changed, like, oh, we got to hurry up and, put our hands in a pot and fix it before it goes worse. They don't want to be sued. You know, they don't want different things to happen to them. So they have a higher liability. Whereas on midwife, like, your body's going to take care of itself. You're going to go through this natural labor. They don't want to intervene as much. So once you start, you know, poking at the bear, poking at the smoke, it's going to create a fire. So you start activating your baby's not ready. My baby probably wasn't ready. I forced him to being induced. So that kind of probably, you know, chain reacted everything else. So I think interventions is what caused a lot of C-sections.
That makes sense, because for both of them, the one who had the boy, he came a week late. I mean, but she had to be induced because he's not coming. And then the other friend, she had a little girl, and I want to say it was something going on with her heart rate too. But it seemed like throughout her pregnancy, like, she wasn't passing the stress test and different things like that. So they ended up taking her early too. So that makes a lot of sense.
Do you think the EDD date could be wrong for a lot of women? So
yeah,
absolutely, because they base the EDD based off your last menstrual cycle. It's not even based on the last day you had sex or when, you know, the egg could have came in contact. Because when was your last period? And a lot of women have irregular periods, so they don't really know when you ovulate and when you conceive. So absolutely,
it's a best guess.
It's a best guess.
Estimated due date, like,
because they give you a range, right? They give you.
They actually give you a
date. Yeah, they give you a date.
Oh, because my friend right now, she said hers was the 24th or the 31st. Those were the two dates she was given. Heard of. Yeah. So,
wow.
Date. Yeah.
Okay.
So Jakaya, do you have any more questions for Q before we move on to the next topic? On this topic, do you have any more questions for her about the labor and delivery?
Where did you deliver at?
Mercy Medical Center in Baltimore.
Oh, okay. That was it.
All right. So I wanted to talk about the precautions that you guys have taken because of COVID. How you have people that are interacting with you before you gave birth, and then Q, how you've had people interacting with you and your son after. Because we know we have to social distance. We know we have to wear masks. Are you pumping yourself with extra, on top of the regular prenatal vitamins, but more vitamin C or anything like that to make sure your immunity is boosted? What precautions have you taken since COVID started? And either of you can start. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jakaya.
No, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I was already kind of into like the vitamin thing. I used to take echinacea and vitamin D, just different things like that. My family is kind of on the holistic side of things as far as medication goes. And as far as precautions, I even make my spouse come in and take a shower before we come upstairs. We have a bathroom on the main level, so when you come in, go ahead and drop everything and take your clothes off and take a shower. Take those outside clothes, leave them as outside clothes until you wash them. So initially, when everything first started, we were very cautious. I can say that back in March, April, no one could come over. It was just me, Carter, and then my spouse, and that was it. And now we kind of like a little bit more freer with things. Even though rates are going up, my mom comes over, my dad may come over. So only close family members. And then when I delivered my son, a week before my mom had to quarantine from work, she took off work for a month for me. She would quarantine for a week, and then it was in the week before I delivered. So we were really strict on the 2-week quarantine, and before anybody could come around him. Now it's just like wash and sanitize your hands. You can only do it's everywhere at this point. So you can only do what you can do as far as like, even if it was like the flu, like wash your hands continuously, sanitize if you can. We may wash our clothes a little bit more frequently because we're like, but other than that, you know, it's not much you can do if it's everywhere.
Yeah. So when am I gonna get the invite? I mean, I get the pictures, but Q, come on now.
Oh, come on over. Come on over.
Oh, I will be there. He's still a little small, so I wouldn't want to hold him yet. But you know, that's my fear of dropping somebody's baby.
He's fat now. It's perfect. You'll be comfortable holding him now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So Jakaya, what precautions have you been taking?
Similar to Q, like at the very beginning, and especially because it was my first trimester, we were very like, oh no, like I wasn't around anybody. Like if there was visitors at like my house, or if I was with my boyfriend, he's like, no, like go in the room, like don't be around it. Like my parents were like, you're like, they would do all the grocery shopping, like they would not let me leave the house at all. And then, I mean, I got lucky because I've been working from, been able to work from home and stuff like that. So I honestly didn't really leave out the house too much. But now, as you said, we've been getting a little more lenient with things. So like when people are like having like barbecues and things, I'll go and just make sure like I wear my mask. And of course, when I'm coming home, I'm like wash my hands, getting in the shower, all of that. And similar, do the same thing to my boyfriend. Like when you get in the house, like you change out of those clothes, take a shower, all of that. So I can't say I'm getting a little more lenient now, which is probably not the best thing in the world, but I'm definitely still making sure I'm, you know, safe when I am going out, as safe as we can be at this point, because, you know, we don't really know much, but yeah.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's either that or just be in your house and
Yeah.
don't go anywhere, don't do anything, and look at all the walls.
Yes, it's like so hard to do to do that. It's like you were doing that for the very beginning, like consistently. So it's like now it's like, okay, like let me get out and do a little something here and
Just a
there.
little bit. Yeah.
So I know pregnancy brings a lot of feelings and possibly anxieties of how you're going to take care of this human that's growing inside of your body. And then when you add the pandemic, the stresses from that just multiplies to a level that I'm sure no one's ever really felt. Then you have all these hormones going through your body, and then you give birth. And then there's this whole thing called postpartum. Like you're now without the child inside of you. Sometimes it can cause postpartum depression. Sometimes it doesn't. It just, however it affects your body. Q, can you tell us what it was like, how your postpartum the past 2 months have been, so we can give Jakaya an idea of what's to come in a couple months?
So, you know, not to scare Jakaya or anyone, but I cried the first 2 weeks, not every day, maybe once every couple of days. I just felt a little overwhelmed. I don't know why I was feeling it, but my primary care physician, who I went to right after and checked like my C-section scar and make sure everything looked good with my stomach. She was saying that within 2 weeks, you'll have a kind of influx or imbalance of your hormones just because you just, you know, you got rid of, you know, this thing you were holding for 2 months to a year, damn near. So, you know, and I felt it. I felt sad. I felt a little lonely because I felt like, you know, everyone's laughing and having a good time and watching TV, and I have this little baby, and, you know, what am I going to do with him? So it didn't develop into depression or anything like that, which was great. But I definitely say, you know, stay up on your hormones. I think a key component of it was the fact that the first time I cried, I actually went and talked to my mom and my spouse who were staying with me. My mom was staying with me at the time. And I told them I had a crying moment. I let them know, you know, how I was feeling. That I didn't know why I was crying, what was going on. That was, I think, the biggest issue for me was, you know, trying to figure out what was going on emotionally. As far as physically healing back from the C-section, the scar itches. It's tender. I think I'm at month 2, and I just started like feeling like I can't feel the scar anymore. Like, you know, it didn't hurt, but you would know it was there. Like you're like, oh, you know, I had a wound. So it was like you could feel it, or like you would wear certain underwears or pants. It's like, oh, I had a scar right there. I had surgery 6 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I was always mindful to be tender with that area. I can say that I haven't had any, fingers crossed, any postpartum shedding with my hair or anything yet. Hopefully I don't have it. I can say my joints, like my bones and stuff, they feel a little awkward. Like they're a little tender. It's hard to get up and down now. And not really to, like, you know, the hips hurt when you're pregnant, but I don't know, my legs and ankles hurt. But keep in mind, I sprained my ankle 3 weeks before I delivered my son too.
Oh my goodness.
You did.
Epic fail.
You was at your baby shower with a little boot thing on. I was like, what happened? She's like, I fell.
I fell all the way down too, like all the way down.
Oh my
It was horrible.
goodness.
So
Had us all mad. How you gonna fall while you pregnant? It was like, Q, how you gonna fall while you pregnant?
That's
At
like
the
my
prenatal
biggest fear.
appointment. At the prenatal appointment.
Oh
Well,
my
at least you were at the
goodness.
doctor's. At least you were
In the
there.
parking lot. In the parking lot.
Oh, well.
Lord.
She
And
wasn't far.
my ankle still isn't 100% the way it used to be. It still feels funny. But as
Mm.
far as like a recovery, and my skin. So the biggest thing I hated during pregnancy was my skin. I had like really dark neck. It's still dark now, as you can see. I had really dark neck, and like I had these long dark lines up my legs. They used to come from my ankles all the way up my back. I mean, it was just horrible. I looked up after. It's a long name. I had it. Whatever. It's finally starting to lighten up, so I'm getting my skin back.
I was gonna say your skin seems to be glowing to me. I mean,
I put a little light highlight on for y'all too.
Oh, thank you, girl.
And then I think lastly, I just gotta take it day by day. You know, I gotta realize I was about to jump back into doing yoga instruction like next week, but I had to let the studio owner know that I'm just not quite ready yet, and it's okay to be patient with your body and knowing that you're not quite ready. Like my downward dog isn't the same anymore. Like all my poses feel funny now, so I have to learn my new body. But the good thing is I lost all my baby weight plus some. Like the first 3 weeks, I was back down.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a snap
Awesome.
back.
Yes.
so speaking of that, is there a certain way you ate during pregnancy? Were you like eating clean? Your face is like, nope, nope, and nope.
So I didn't even eat clean before I was pregnant. So
Right.
you know, somehow people thought that I was gonna get pregnant and you're gonna love your baby and want to take care of it and things gonna snap for you. You're gonna want to drink water and eat salads and all that good stuff. No. I was eating fried chicken and fries and cookies and cakes and Burger King, McDonald's, Popeyes. I mean, I think the healthiest thing I had was
Ew.
Chipotle.
I feel like at Sierra's house you ate pretty clean, or you didn't eat. I'm trying to
She
think.
didn't have an option. She had
There
what I
wasn't that
had.
many
She only could choose what I had here.
she had like vegan turkey meat and stuff.
First of all, I had real bacon and real sausage, and then we did have the vegan meatballs, but
See what I'm saying? So, and then we was
anyway.
playing spades. So, you know, you don't want to get your hands all dirty
That's
when you're
true.
playing spades. Like,
Yeah, no, I haven't been eating. I don't eat terrible. Like I eat fast food, but I guess I quote eat the healthier fast food. Like, like Chick-fil-A is supposed to be healthier, stuff like that. I try to get my like salads in here and there, but yes, if I want some cookies, I'm eating me some cookies. Like I'm kind of just all over the place, but no, I'm not like, oh, I'm super healthy. Like I try to make sure I'm like getting my, servings of fruits and vegetables, but it's like, when you want a burger, you want a burger. Like
you gonna have it too.
my water, I keep my big Fijis on me, so I can't say I do pretty good with water.
When y'all are eating the food, did you guys used to say, oh, it's the baby wants it? Did y'all use that excuse? Or y'all was like, nah,
Nope.
let me get this.
I'm hungry.
It's me.
That's
Yeah,
you.
no, I'm eating for two, like, because my boyfriend, he's like so tripped out now because I eat so much and I eat so often. Like, I used to be one of those people who could wait, eat at 4:00, eat one meal, eat 2 meals a day and be okay. Now, like every 4 hours, I'm like, I need food. Like, I'm hungry. You have to bring me more.
Yeah.
So he's like, every time he sees me eating now, he's like going to get food for us. He's just like, oh my God, like, I don't even know who you are. Like, you eat so much now. And I'm like, because your child is in eating. Like, I'm like, it's not my fault.
That makes me think about a question. When you guys first found out you were pregnant, of course, you took the test and that was like the confirmation. And what were the symptoms you felt? Like, I know some people feel really, really sick, like maybe like they had the flu in the beginning, they're all tired, or they might start eating more. What symptoms did you have that kind of made you think, let me go take a test? And this
My
might
boobs.
go, your boobs hurt? Oh, I heard that
No,
one too.
they got humongous. Like early on, even though I was going through the IVF, I knew where I was in the cycle of knowing what a test. Like before I even went for the blood test, they were like really like full. I was like, damn. I think I'm pregnant. So that was my tall tale sign, to be honest.
Oh man, I feel like my breasts are already big. They don't need to get bigger.
I mean, they're gonna get bigger when milk gets in there, so
Yes.
I didn't even have anything. The only reason I took a test is because my cycle was late. Like I'm used to my cycle coming every month. So when it didn't come at all in February, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take a test. I had like minor symptoms, like a little bit of like nausea, but it wasn't bad at all. It was like pretty much my typical pregnancy, my typical period symptoms. So I kept thinking like, oh, my cycle is coming because my boobs are a little sore, my stomach feels a little queasy. So I'm like, oh, okay, like it's my cycle coming, but no, it wasn't.
Nothing.
Nothing.
That reminds me of something. Thanks, Jakaya. I had cramps like a week before. So they always say that pregnancy symptoms, like you said, mimic period symptoms. Yep. So the cramps a week before your period supposed to be like implantation cramps, right, where the baby's implanting in your uterus. So that causes cramps too. And I was like, oh, that could be my period though. Right. But I had cramps a week before I found out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, this has been a really good discussion. Q, I know that you are helping Jakaya and you are helping us, the non-pregnant people, like to kind of see what to look forward to in the future. If we'll start with you, Jakaya, if you had one bit of advice to tell someone who's currently pregnant right now during COVID, what would your advice be?
One bit of advice.
And if you got 2 or 3 nuggets, you can even give more, but at least one.
I guess my bit of advice would just be like, just kind of like relax, take things day by day. I don't know. Sometimes especially at the beginning, I found myself like really like just like anxious and nervous all the time and just thinking like all these crazy thoughts and just different stuff like that. So, but as time has gone on and like I'm feeling my baby move and different stuff like that, I'm a little more relaxed and it's just making me feel more at ease. Like the more positive thoughts I have, the more I'm like praying and just being positive is just making me feel better. Like I just wake up every day like, oh my God, like I'm so happy. Like I'm just, just happy to be here, just feeling good. So I think like you just kind of have to like just tell yourself to relax. Like it's gonna be okay. Try not to like let too much, stress you out. Cause of course that'll stress out the baby too. But it's definitely changing my mindset about things and just, again, having a more positive outlook on things has made me feel a lot better during this time.
I would say, I was trying to figure out a way to say it while Jakaya was talking, but I was thinking like about, everything you feel during a pregnancy. Well, my first point of view was to enjoy the pregnancy. Even if you're sick or not feeling bad, find little things in the pregnancy to enjoy. I used to love feeling his kicks, just like him waking me up in the morning, just things like that, because you'll never have that feeling again. And, some women get sad when they're like, they got to share their baby once the baby is out. Like, oh, now I got to share these kicks and these smiles and these hiccups. When you feel these hiccups inside of you, you may feel your belly move, like enjoy it. And then lastly, I was going to say to make sure that you give yourself, you're patient with yourself, meaning when you're sad one day, that's okay. Be fine with being sad that day. When you cry, be happy that you're crying. Like, don't beat yourself up for feeling any kind of way. If you're fussing at somebody, that's okay. You can fuss them if you want to, and you don't give a F. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be happy with where you are at that moment, and then, be gentle and kind to yourself.
I think that's
great
advice.
Good. That is both of y'all. That was right on time, I tell you. Wow. So, I really do want to thank you guys for having this conversation. I was really excited to talk about this because I just felt that there's already so many anxieties, and then to add in what's happening in the world while you're in a joyful moment, I wanted some people that I knew would be I knew Q, you was going to come with it. Like you was going to be straight to the point. You was going to be positive. Absolutely. You were going to, but tell the truth at the same time. So I know that someone listening to this is thankful for what they've heard. And I thank you guys both for being very open and candid during this conversation.
Absolutely.
Jakaya, do you have a baby shower planned soon? Are we getting an invite? Like, what's good?
At this point, I don't even know. I did do a pretty big gender reveal, and I was super happy with that. Like I did like an outside gender reveal, and that ended up going really good. But gender reveals are quick. So I felt like, okay, it's a lot of people, but you know, we're gonna get people in and out. As of now, we're trying to plan a baby shower, an indoor something at a venue, but it's like, I know we're hearing that when the fall comes, the cases are supposed to get even worse. So we don't know how realistic an indoor baby shower is going to be. So at this point, it's a big question mark, but something will be happening. My child will be showered.
What's your due date?
November 11th.
Okay. I think Sierra brought it up because I had a drive-through baby shower.
You did.
She wanted me to mention it, and it was everything.
It was. Let me tell you. This is the first drive up anything.
Give me the rundown.
Let me tell. No, I'm gonna tell it as a guest, and then Q can tell it as a host. But basically, this is my first drive up anything. It was supposed to be in April.
It was in April. Like April 28th.
It was still in April. It was later in April. It was supposed to be earlier in the month first, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We roll up, right? And she got her little SUV out there with all these gifts, people putting the gifts in. But that's not what's the best part about this thing. Even though I couldn't eat none of the food because it wasn't pescatarian-ish, they was out there grilling, right?
Yeah.
She was out there on the grill.
Oh, you was
They had, well, both of them. They had little containers for the hamburgers and the hot dogs with they had the little ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise in the little container. They had little shots to go. They had cupcakes to go. I was like, this is a bomb little party. They had the little music playing through the car. Like the neighbors I don't know if the neighbors are outside because they're usually outside if they were trying to be nosy. But you had a lot of your neighbors was looking outside. I was like, this is what's up. And then I was like, I usually, when I go to her parties, I always stay and clean up. But I couldn't stay and clean up this time because I kind of felt like, one, we outside. Two, it's kind of COVID-ish. And we took pictures with our mask on. She had this nice little, what are those things? Little display with the.
I had a giant frame for the pictures. Like
so she took pictures with every person. It was great. It was, I really enjoyed myself for the little bit of time I was out there.
That's good.
And the weather was perfect. So thank you for being the best drive-through baby shower host I've ever experienced. Like y'all did it. Mama was out there handing stuff out. Like it was a family affair.
How did you feel like having to do a drive-through one? Like were you kind of like upset about it, or like how did that?
Initially we had this wonderful little venue in Columbia, and I was like, oh my gosh, it has big windows and I'm gonna have balloons and stuff. It's gonna be great. And then this happened. I was sad, and I think my spouse really wanted to have one. I'm trying to figure out why, because we already have a son. I'm like, you already did this before. But one of my other really good girlfriends sent me pictures on Facebook of a drive-through shower that someone did, and we kind of took it and evolved with it. So we had an SUV parked outside next to the grill and everything with the trunk open, so people would drive up, put the bags inside, and then come to the table with the decorations. And we had like containers for everything. So the sliders and chips were in a container, and then a cupcake had a separate container. Everything was wrapped separately. And then we had like to-go containers and straws, like the lemonade iced tea thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So like again, we had music playing. We had decorations and balloons up, and then my spouse was on the grill. So it was a great experience. I really enjoyed the fact that I didn't have to entertain anybody.
Like, I was going to say that was
not having to play games, not having to smile. Hey, how you doing? Let's talk about something. I love not having to entertain or be a real host. So I will probably do it again.
Even without COVID, just do a drive-through.
I would. And the funny thing, I got so many friends who gave me great feedback on, the drive. Like, we're so happy we had to sit there for 3 hours and just play these whack games.
Oh my goodness.
It was great to come by, see you for a few minutes, chat for 10 minutes, take a picture, and woo woo. And then a lot of my friends also shipped me gifts as well. So it was a great experience.
While you were talking, I was thinking the same thing in my head. I'm like, oh yes, that would be right up my alley. Come, pick your stuff, leave.
In and out.
Oh, see, and I'm like corny. Like I love baby showers for the games and like for the whole like atmosphere. Like I love baby showers literally for those reasons. So that's why I'm a drive.
Never mind.
I'm like, I'm kind of like, drive by. Like I'm gonna be sad. Like I don't know, but that makes sense. Like not having to do so much, because even with the planning for my gender reveal and stuff, my mom is already like, if we're doing this baby shower, she's like, we're getting we're hiring people to do this. She was like, we did too much. She was like, we were running around with our heads cut off. We were like out doing stuff at like late at night. She was like, it was too much. So definitely but we're like extra people. Like my dad is like that. Like we're like very like extravagant, like we do events, like big, we're into all of that. So I don't know, I'm still like, we'll see how the thing goes. Right, we're going to see how it goes.
And a big one, and then have a contingency plan for the drive-through.
Yeah,
you can still do that. You can still do that up big too. You can have a big parade drive-through type of thing. You bump the horn, and you get them streamers or something. You can still, make it big.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed it. Did you tell us the gender of your baby?
Me?
She did not.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's having a boy.
Yeah,
I missed it.
Oh, I missed it too.
I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yes,
She said that in her introduction, I think.
Yeah.
We bad
bad host. I'm sorry. I knew the November date, but I didn't remember hearing the gender.
Yeah,
and so when it comes to the names, I know I've been to baby showers where the name was written all over, but they're like, no, don't post the name. We don't want the name out until it's time until we're ready. We don't want pictures of anything. Let that be. So I haven't said your son's name purposely, Q. And Jakaya, I don't know if you already have one picked, but how do you guys feel about releasing that information? Are you one that wants to wait until it's right? Are you out here telling everybody, yeah, my baby's name gonna be blah? Like,
my baby's name gonna be like.
Okay, you are already out there.
Yeah,
okay.
we have a couple. His name starts with the J too, so we're keeping it in the J's. We have a couple different names that we've come across, but we've been talking about them. Like we're debating between Jameer, Jace, and Jaden. I think those are
all of those.
I love. Oh, let me tell you. I had this crush on this boy named Jace back in elementary school.
I like Jace too.
That is his number. That is Dad's number one name. He's like, his name is Jace. He's like, it's nothing to talk about. Like, he is Jace crazy. It's nothing else to talk about. So I feel like that'll probably end up being the name, but I'm keeping the other two names in the running.
Does your boyfriend name start with a J too?
Mm-hmm,
yeah. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And for me, his name is Camden, like Camden Yards. And I didn't even know the gender of my baby until the baby was born. So it was the name and the baby sex was definitely a secret to everyone. And it killed everyone else around me but me. I was totally fine with not knowing. And like I said, part of it was because I was trying. So it was like, whatever I get, I'm happy. And I knew I was probably going to try one more time. So I really didn't care so much about the gender, but I knew, I think from early on that it was going to be a boy. Like everyone says, and you definitely do know. Like I felt it. I had a dream about him and everything. So I knew he was going to be a boy.
Oh, I was going to ask, how was that surprise? Like when you actually saw the baby, because you didn't know.
It was confirming. It was confirming, but it was exciting. It was definitely exciting. My father is his first grandchild and grandson, and everyone was excited. My mom was kind of like, I don't know what to do with a boy, but I mean, he's so beautiful and so sweet and like so innocent, and I mean he's so funny. He has so much personality already, and I just think he was exactly what I needed when I needed it. So I can't complain about that. And his name came by because my first son name is Carter. So we wanted to stay in the C's. And I don't know. One day we was just writing down C names. And his name was going to be, I think, we had came with Carson at first. But then we said we would like that for a girl name instead. And so we just threw around C names, and Camden came up. I was like, what about this? And I was like, yes, we love it. So we left it at Camden. We had a girl and a boy name ready when we delivered. Yeah. So Carson was gonna be for the girl and Camden was for the boy.
Nice.
That's super cute. Yeah. Everybody thought I was having a girl. Like everybody since day one thought as soon as they found out I was pregnant, they're like, you're having a girl. And as my symptoms started like arising, more people were like, oh, it's a girl. My like belly shape. I mean, everybody had me thinking it was a girl from our grandparents. Like I said, I had two close friends who had babies. They're like, yeah, you're having a girl. Like, I mean, everybody was thinking it was a girl. So And in my heart, I wanted a little boy. I did want a boy. And in my heart, I was like, I'm having a boy. But I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Like so many people kept telling me I was having a girl. I started to believe it. So when we were like talking to my stomach and stuff, we're like talking to my stomach like it's a little girl. We're like coming up with more girl names. And then at the gender reveal, the balloon pops blue and I like flip out. I like lose my mind. I'm screaming. I'm jumping up and down because I had everybody had me convinced that it was a girl. So I was like, so it was like the biggest surprise ever. But even now I still look at the sonogram and I'm like, wow, like you're really a little boy. Like, like have a feeling like you just know. I kind of was feeling like that too. I'm like, I hear what y'all are saying. Like, yeah, it's probably good. But I'm like, I know I'm having a little boy. So
right.
Funny.
Well, we are enjoying this conversation.
Oh.
I mean, I'm loving it.
You miss me too.
I do miss you too. I miss your food. I miss your jokes. I miss your laugh, your hug.
Oh,
I miss coming to y'all house. Y'all house is nice. And I know you said earlier that your mom has been helping out and walking the dogs. Biscuit's gone right now. So my mom's dog. So if you need me to take one or both,
you can have one.
I can have one.
You can have them. Yeah,
so
I'm
cute.
Tired.
I was going to say, don't tell her that. She will be right there.
I had Biscuit from April until last weekend.
No, I saw your pictures on Facebook. You're crazy. But no, you can have forever have one of my dogs.
She literally will go and take your
dog. Will the family be okay with departing? The dogs departing and coming to my house?
Sha is tired of these dogs, and
for real.
Carter may be sad, but that's okay.
Send me a picture. Send me a picture so I can pick. I can't do two.
I know you can't. My mom can take the other one.
Okay.
You got it.
But yeah, guys, this is great. I am just giving congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you
for being mommies to be of little kings that are coming in this world. We know that the world is not always that nice to people of our color, and especially our Black men, but we know that you guys are going to raise them to be kings, to be like the best men in the world. They're going to have a family, a village around them. Because if you guys ever need us, Q, if you need a babysitter, just wait till he's bigger. Infants scare me. They really do. I'm intimidated. But in adolescence. So you got to be in that middle age. But anyway, we're here. We're here for you, Jakaya.
Thank you.
You have questions. We know we definitely will get you guys linked up. But before the episode ends, we definitely want to make sure that you guys are able to drop your Instagram or social media handles. So if anybody else has any additional questions, if you'd like them to reach out to you, they can reach out to you directly. So let us know how people can reach out to you.
You can find me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Jakaya.
No, go ahead.
Y'all are so funny. I love it.
You can find me on Instagram at Life with Q, Life with QUE.
And my Instagram name is Jakaya, Jakaiya. Then it's 3 extra A's at the end, so AAA.
Jakaya,
Yes, Jakaya.
I like it. So yes, ladies, thank you so much.
Yeah.
One day when I'm pregnant and when Ebony's pregnant, we're going to call y'all straight up okay, so this is what we feeling. This is what's happening. Tell us what to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How do we breastfeed? How do we change this diaper? Boys, have you been peed in the face? Has he peed in your face? I'm assuming.
Cameron has peed in everybody's face but mine, but I have a strategy for changing the diaper.
You put some on there, right?
Yeah, so I put the new diaper underneath the old diaper before I even start. Put the new diaper underneath the bottom, and when I pull the old one out, I flip the new one up.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. And then I finish. Yeah, so I'll leave the dirty one on there, wipe him with the wipe, lift the butt up, pull the old one out, open his legs back up, put the ointment and flip it back up. Just anytime you have him exposed, flip it back up.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I have 2 nephews, and when they were little, they peed on me, both of them.
That's good. That's good right there. Thank you, Q, for that tip.
Yes.
Jakaya, write that down.
Yes, seriously.
Put on the doll, baby.
Coming, seriously.
But this is
But I also want to say thank you guys for coming and teaching us information and us learning. I don't know if it made me want to have a kid any more or less, but it was helpful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us.
Well, we want to thank everybody for listening, and we will be back soon. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms at The Real Play Podcast.
We would love to hear from you, so leave us a comment, DM, or voice note. And don't forget to come hang out with us on our next episode.